Hi again. I saw this on a Krita tutorial recently where the guy created a sort of a lava texture just using a simple brush technique and some textures. So let's see if we can dive in and do the same thing. So I'm going to clear this. Before I do, I'm just going to show you, it's got this hot spot. It's got this kind of rock texture. And then the rocks on the non-glowing part, the part of the where the rocks is most solid. We also have some lighting on them, so we'll try to duplicate that. So I'm going to just select an airbrush. I'll go to airbrush 100 from this little drop-down menu here. I will select a size of about 400-ish, opacity maybe a half, and we could use one of our built-in textures. That would be fine. Go to dry brush, and you'll still see that start to take an effect there. But that's not the greatest texture in the world. So we could make our own texture by loading an image or using picking up a custom brush and using it there. But there's probably some papers here we can use. Clicking on more papers, something's probably in here that we can use. I'll click on that. Make sure we're on use as paper instead of use as brush, and we will just start to pick an orange color and start to draw there. Nice, but too small, so we will scale that up some, and we'll just go ahead and draw that. Great, but it's not really building up colors and becoming more and more bright. So what we're going to do is go into mode here and select additive. It'll tell us the AA brush was converted to a custom brush because the built-in AA brush tool doesn't really do different modes. It usually just works on the opaque mode. But here, when we select additive, it becomes a custom brush, and we can use all the colors, all the modes and stuff that we want. So now that we're painting additive, you can see as we paint, it starts to build up more and more glowing, lava type effects. We can change this dry brush and get a different result like this, or we can also change the opacity or a combination of the two to get a different result like that, and so on. So that is basically the gist of this technique. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is we want to maybe create some fractures in these rocks. We can do that. But before we do, we want to increase some highlights on the rocks. And we're coloring in between the rocks right now. But we want to color on top of the dense parts of the rock. So we're going to invert this, hit negative, and we can do that. I'm going to use a different color so it'll be easy to distinguish. And that in itself is not the best because it's just filling in the entire area. We want to actually adjust this dry brush probably up some, so it's not filling in quite the entire area. So we can get there with just some tweaking. So maybe something like that. I don't know. I'm not going to use full on green. I'm going to pick a kind of a little bit of a blue in there. And we're just putting a little bit of lighting on those rocks that are outside this lava hot spot here. Like maybe they're picking up some light from here or whatever. I don't know. And, we can adjust that dry brush until we get the result that we want. So that's one trick here. Now, the other trick is, say we want to, as I said before, create fractures and stuff inside of these rocks. I'm going to go back to that orange color we had before. I'm going to go back to turn off this negative, so we're now coloring back here. But now I'm going to change the scale down. So we have this bigger texture, but now we're making a smaller texture that will do the same thing, but perhaps with within these rocks. So it'll be like these rocks themselves are fractured because this hot spot here has maybe caused these rocks to break apart and that sort of thing. So that's about the gist of what I was going to do here. Just creating a simple lava texture using the paper texture and a simple additive brush. So thanks for watching, and talk to you later.